This is the moment Derek Chambers' world ended for the second time. The first time, no one died. The second time, the woman he once loved put 3 bullets in his chest while his fiancée watched. September 2023, Portland, Oregon, an ex-wife, a successful man, a new fiancée, 3 gunshots. Derek wasn't always the man lying in that parking lot. Born October 1990, middle child, Portland, Oregon. Father died in a work accident when Derek was 17. He became the man of the house, engineering student, scholarship to Portland State, designed bridges and buildings, volunteered with Habitat for Humanity, ran half marathons just for the joy of it. 6'1", athletic, confident smile. His brother Bobby would say, Derek made everyone feel capable, like their problems were solvable. In 2014, Derek married Rachel Morrison, 29 years old, real estate agent, 7 years older, drove luxury cars, wore expensive perfume, had the kind of confidence that commanded attention. She pursued him, called every day, took him to restaurants he couldn't afford, bought him clothes, said he needed to dress the part. His mother liked her, thought she was ambitious, stable. They dated 18 months, married in March 2014, moved into her condo in Lake Oswego. Everything white and chrome and cold. February 2016, Rachel got pregnant. 12 weeks in, Derek found her on the couch, pale, bleeding, hospital, no heartbeat, miscarriage. Rachel went back to work the next day, both times. These things happen. We move forward. But Derek didn't move forward. He drowned. By 2018, Derek weighed 418 pounds. Rachel filed for divorce without warning. Had the papers delivered. She'd been seeing someone from work for months, a developer named Scott. In the parking lot after signing the divorce papers, Derek asked why. Why like this? Why didn't you tell me? Rachel turned, face cold. I can't watch you destroy yourself anymore. You're leaving because I gained weight. I'm leaving because you gave up. Then she drove away. 6 months later, Derek stood on a sidewalk at night, bent over, gasping for air after walking 1 block. A stranger stopped running, sat down on the curb beside him. Her name was Tasha Bennett, physical therapist, personal trainer. She handed him a piece of paper with her number. If you want to walk again tomorrow, I'll walk with you. 17 pounds became 50. 50 became 180. Derek started his own consulting business, rebuilt his life from the ground up. By 2023, he weighed 185, the same as college. Tasha wasn't just his trainer anymore. She was his fiancée. Wedding date, July 1st, 2023, March 2023, Sweet Petal Bakery. Derek and Tasha were tasting wedding cakes. The door chimed. Rachel walked in. She stopped, stared, couldn't believe what she was seeing. The man she'd left weighing over 400 pounds now looked like someone from a magazine. Confident, successful, happy. Everything she said he'd never be. What Rachel did next wasn't love. It wasn't regret. It was rage. Over the next 3 months, Rachel would withdraw $50,000, convert it to Bitcoin, contact someone on the dark web, and on June 17th, 2023, 2 weeks before Derek's wedding, she would make sure he never made it down the aisle. What happens when the person who destroyed you can't handle watching you rebuild? When your transformation becomes their obsession? When your happiness becomes their target? Welcome to Compass True Crime Stories. Kindly support and encourage us by subscribing to this channel as we continue to keep you entertained with new true crime stories around the world on a daily basis. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our next interesting and chilling true crime story. Summer 2012, Beaverton Community Park. Derek was 22, fresh engineering degree, new job. That's where he met Rachel Morrison. 29, real estate agent, top performer, drove a BMW. She didn't ask for his number. She told him when she'd pick him up for dinner. She pursued him like a business deal she intended to close. Called every day, expensive restaurants, gifts, cologne, a leather wallet. You need to look the part. First impressions matter. His mother thought she was ambitious. His brother Bobby wasn't convinced. She talks about you like you're a project. They married in March 2014, boutique hotel in the Pearl District, 90 guests. Derek wore a suit Rachel picked. Felt like he was stepping into someone else's life. Moved into her Lake Oswego condo. Everything white, chrome, cold. His belongings looked wrong there. His posters, his trophies, his books. Rachel redecorated without asking. His things went into storage. First 2 years looked normal. Rachel traveled constantly. Real estate conferences, property showings. Gone 4-5 days at a time. She paid most bills. Handled all finances. Derek never saw bank statements. Surprised him with expensive gifts he never asked for. They talked about kids. Maybe 2, maybe 3. The cracks weren't visible yet. Rachel only complimented his appearance, never his character. Your colleague just bought a house. Maybe you should think bigger. She'd compare him to men at her office. Men who owned businesses. Men who made her job easier by being impressive at dinner parties. Derek brushed it off. Thought she was motivating him. February 2016. Pregnancy test. 2 pink lines. Rachel barely looked up from her laptop. Well, I guess we're doing this. Not excitement, just resignation. 12 weeks in. Derek came home. Found Rachel on the couch. Pale. Blood on her clothes. I need to go to the hospital. Cold examination room. Doctor's expressionless face. No heartbeat. Miscarriage. These things happen. Rachel drove herself home. Went to work the next morning. Didn't take a single day off. We'll try again when I'm ready. Derek fell apart inside. Couldn't focus at work. Missed deadlines. Stopped returning emails. Stopped calling his mother. Stopped playing basketball. Started gaining weight. Ordering takeout. Eating alone while Rachel worked late. Rachel started making comments. You're letting yourself go. You used to take care of yourself. 8 months later, another pregnancy test. 2 pink lines. Derek felt terror this time, not joy. Rachel barely looked up from her phone. Okay, let's hope it sticks this time. 10 weeks, bleeding again, hospital again, no heartbeat again. This time Rachel didn't even come. Said she had a client meeting, sent Derek's brother Bobby instead. Doctor prescribed medication for depression. Told Derek he needed therapy. Derek never filled the prescription, never called a therapist, just stopped. Stopped going to work regularly. Called in sick 3-4 days a week. Eating became his only escape. Late at night, standing in front of the fridge. Not tasting the food, just filling the void. Rachel's comments became crueler. You're disgusting. I didn't marry this version of you. By January 2017, he'd gained 120 pounds. By August, over 340. By early 2018, 418 pounds. Couldn't fit in restaurant booths. Couldn't use public bathrooms. Couldn't shop in regular stores. Rachel started coming home later. Sometimes not at all. Too tired to drive home. Derek knew she was lying. She made comments in front of his family. I didn't sign up for this version. Said it like a joke. Nobody laughed. By 2018, Rachel didn't hide it anymore. Walked past Derek without looking. Answered with one word. Sighed when he entered a room. Stopped wearing her wedding ring. Derek was 27 years old, weighed nearly 400 pounds, had no job, no friends, no future he could see, and his wife looked at him like he was already dead. Derek was sitting in the living room when the doorbell rang. 4:12 p.m. on a Wednesday. Man in a suit holding an envelope. Are you Derek Chambers? You've been served. Divorce papers, Rachel had filed. Didn't tell him. Just had them delivered. Reason cited irreconcilable differences. She'd already moved out 2 months earlier. Packed her things while he was asleep. But there was something else in the papers. Rachel had been seeing someone from work. A developer named Scott. They'd been together for months. Derek sat on the floor holding those papers. Didn't cry. Couldn't cry. Just sat there feeling nothing. May 2018, the lawyer's office downtown. Derek's mother drove him. He couldn't fit behind the steering wheel anymore. Rachel already there. Wouldn't look up when he entered. Derek was 28 years old. Nearly 405 pounds. The The chair was too small, digging into his sides. His mother asked for a different chair, wider, no arms. Derek sat down, face burning with shame. Her attorney did all the talking. Derek kept the car he couldn't fit in. Rachel kept everything else. The condo, her 401k, her savings. Derek got nothing. He signed. Rachel signed. Her lawyer collected everything. Rachel stood up, started to leave. Didn't say a word. Parking lot outside. Derek's mother went to get the car. Rachel walked past him. He called her name. She stopped. Didn't turn around at first. Why like this? Why didn't you just tell me? She turned, looked at him for the first time in months. Face hard, cold. I tried. I really did. But I can't watch you destroy yourself anymore. You're leaving because I gained weight. I'm leaving because you gave up. Derek wanted to scream at her, wanted to tell her about the nights he spent crying, about the babies they lost, about how she abandoned him when he needed her most. But he didn't. Just stood there, watched her get in her car, watched her drive away. By September 2018, Derek weighed 418 pounds. Couldn't fit anywhere. Couldn't shop. Couldn't work. Doctor warned him at every visit. You're 28 years old, pre-diabetic, high blood pressure. This is killing you. Derek would nod, leave the office, stop at a drive-thru on the way home. His mother stayed with him for 3 weeks, walked into his apartment, almost cried. Dishes piled everywhere, trash overflowing. Derek in the same clothes for 4 days. She cleaned, cooked, tried to talk to him. Baby, you can't live like this. Derek didn't respond, just sat on the couch, existing, not living. September 8th, 2018, 9:43 p.m. Derek sat on the couch, same spot for hours, his mother's voice in his head. You can't live like this. He looked around the apartment, at the mess, at the closed curtains, at the life he'd been living. Something broke, or maybe something clicked. He stood up, put on shoes, running shoes he hadn't worn in 2 years. Could barely get them on. Laces wouldn't tie. Opened the front door. First time in weeks. The air hit his face. Cool, damp. September in Portland. He stepped outside, started walking, just around the block, down the driveway, onto the sidewalk, heart pounding, lungs tight. Halfway down the street, his body gave out. Legs shaking, chest burning. Stopped. Bent over, hands on his knees, gasping for air. He wanted to turn back. Go home. Give up. Then he heard footsteps. Someone running. Getting closer. Derek froze, too tired to move, too embarrassed to look up. The footsteps stopped. Right next to him, a woman's voice, gentle, concerned. You okay? Her name was Tasha Bennett, 35 years old, physical therapist and personal trainer. Grew up in Seattle, moved to Portland 4 years earlier. Ran this route every evening, same streets, same time. She'd seen Derek walk out, noticed he was struggling. Derek couldn't look at her, kept his eyes on the ground. I'm fine. He wasn't fine, could barely breathe. Tasha didn't leave. I'm going to sit here with you for a minute. She walked past him, sat down on the curb, right there on the street. Didn't wait for permission, just sat. After a minute, Derek sat down too, a few feet away. Still couldn't look at her. Tasha didn't mention his weight. Didn't ask why he was out of breath. Just asked about the neighborhood, where to get good coffee, normal questions, like they were just two people having a conversation. Years later, Derek would say, she had this voice that didn't rush me. She just sat there, this stranger, and I started crying right there on the street, and she didn't leave. He cried, not loud, just tears running down his face. This woman next to him, someone he didn't even know, and she didn't leave. After a while, he wiped his face. Sorry, I don't know why I'm crying. You don't have to apologize. Sometimes you just need to let it out. They sat there in silence, street lamp flickering, cars passing. Tasha spoke again. I know it feels impossible, but nothing's impossible. I've seen people climb back from places they never thought they'd escape. Derek looked at her for the first time, really looked at her, tall, athletic, kind face, eyes that didn't judge. You a therapist or something? She smiled. Physical therapist, personal trainer, but I'm not trying to sell you anything. Just saying, I've seen it. Tasha stood up, pulled a piece of paper from her running belt, pen from her pocket, wrote down her number, handed it to him. You don't have to call, but if you want to walk again tomorrow, I'll walk with you. She started jogging again, turned back once. I'm serious, anytime. Then she was gone. Derek sat there for 20 minutes, holding that torn piece of paper, looking at the number, trying to figure out why a stranger would stop, why she would sit with him, why she would offer to come back. He folded the paper, put it in his pocket, stood up slowly, started walking back, legs still shaking, lungs still burning. But something felt different. Hope, maybe. Or maybe just the memory of someone being kind when they didn't have to be. The next day, Derek stared at that number for 10 minutes. Part of him said, don't do it. Don't let a stranger see you struggle again. But another part said, text her. See what happens. He typed, is the offer still good? Sent it before he could change his mind. She responded immediately. What time works for you? 7:30 p.m. Derek walked outside. Tasha already there, stretching, smiled when she saw him. They started walking, slow, no pressure. 9 minutes in, Derek had to stop, bent over, gasping. I'm sorry, I can't. Tasha stopped next to him. That's 9 more minutes than yesterday. Derek looked at her, confused. Yesterday, I only made it halfway down the street. Exactly. Today you made it further. That's progress. Week 1. They walked 3 times, 12 minutes each. Tasha talked while they walked, about her childhood in Seattle, moving to Portland, her work, the clients she helped. She told him about her mother. Died of a heart attack at 54. That's why Tasha got into fitness. Wanted to help people avoid what her mother went through. Derek listened. Didn't talk much at first, just let her voice fill the silence. October 2018, Derek stepped on the scale for the first time in months. 401 pounds, down 17 pounds. He stood there staring at the number. 17 pounds didn't seem like much, but it was something. First time the number had gone down in 3 years. He cried, standing in his bathroom, crying over 17 pounds. That week, Tasha took him to meet a nutritionist, Dr. Alan Park. Dr. Park didn't lecture, just ask questions. What do you eat? When do you eat? How do you feel when you eat? They started meal planning. No strict diets, just portion control, better choices, protein with every meal, vegetables, water instead of soda, small changes, nothing extreme. Derek followed it, not perfectly, but he tried, and slowly it worked. One evening in late October, Derek told Tasha about Rachel, about the marriage, the miscarriages, how she left. Tasha listened, didn't interrupt, didn't offer advice, just let him talk. When he finished, she was quiet for a moment. I'm sorry that happened to you. You didn't deserve that. Those words cracked something open in Derek, because no one had said that to him. Everyone had been so focused on his weight, no one had acknowledged the pain underneath. Tasha shared her own story. She'd been engaged once. His name was Michael. Planning a wedding. 3 months before the date, he was in a hiking accident. Fell on Mount Hood. Didn't survive. Tasha threw herself into fitness after that. Worked out twice a day. Stayed busy, so she wouldn't have to think about what she'd lost. I understand grief. I understand how it changes you. Derek looked at her. Really looked at her. This woman who stopped on a street to help a stranger, who showed up every evening without fail, who understood. They kept walking, side by side, 2 people carrying pain, trying to move forward. December 2018. Derek stepped on the scale, 373 pounds, down 45 pounds total. He could walk 40 minutes without stopping. Tasha introduced him to light strength training, chair squats, wall push-ups, resistance bands. She still never charged him. This isn't work. This is just 2 friends walking, Derek insisted. I need to pay you something. Tasha smiled. You can buy me dinner when you hit your first goal. What's my first goal? You tell me. January 2019, February, March, 340 pounds, 315, 295. April 2019. Derek stepped on the scale, 285 pounds, down 133 pounds total, under 300 pounds for the first time in years. Derek was working out 5 days a week now, not just walking, real workouts. Tasha introduced him to her gym, small place in East Portland. He started taking group fitness classes, water aerobics, chair yoga, making friends again, learning how to be around people, learning how to laugh. His life was becoming something he recognized. He'd started applying for jobs, got hired at a small engineering consulting firm. Nothing fancy, but it was work, purpose, a future. April 14th, 2019. After a hard workout, Derek had pushed himself, 30 minutes on the elliptical. Tasha met him outside the gym. They sat in her car, air conditioning running, both catching their breath. This had become routine, sitting together after workouts, talking, laughing, just being. Derek looked at her. "I don't know how to thank you." Tasha turned toward him. "You already have. Every day you show up, you thank me." Long silence. Something unspoken hanging between them. Tasha reached for his hand, held it gently. "D, I need to tell you something, and if it makes things weird, we can pretend I never said it." Derek's heart racing. He knew what was coming. "I think I'm falling for you. Have been for months." Derek pulled his hand back, not because he didn't feel the same, but because he was scared. "I'm still over 280. You can't." Tasha's voice firm but gentle. "I see you, all of you, and I'm not going anywhere." Derek shook his head. "You don't understand. Rachel left because—" "I'm not Rachel." Those words hung in the air. Simple. True. Tasha wasn't Rachel. Hadn't been from the beginning. Derek's eyes filled with tears. "What if I gain it back? What if I can't keep doing this?" "Then we figure it out together." Tasha reached for his hand again. "This isn't about your weight, D. This is about you, the person you are. I fell for that person, not a number on a scale." Derek cried, not sad tears. Relief, maybe. Tasha didn't rush him, just sat there holding his hand, waiting. Finally, Derek spoke. "I'm scared." "I know. Me too." "You're scared?" "Terrified. I haven't felt this way since Michael, and losing him almost destroyed me. So yeah, I'm scared. But I'm also sure." Derek wiped his face, took a breath. Okay, let's try." April 20th, 2019. Their first official date, small Ethiopian restaurant in Hawthorne District. Derek changed his outfit 4 times, settled on jeans and a fitted shirt, something that showed his shape instead of hiding it. When Tasha picked him up, she stared at him for a moment. "You look handsome," Derek almost argued, but stopped himself. Said thank you instead. The restaurant was small, dim lighting. They sat at a corner table, ordered food family style, shared everything. Derek kept waiting for Tasha to look embarrassed to be seen with him. She never did. She looked at him the whole time, asked questions, laughed at his jokes, reached across the table and held his hand where everyone could see. Later, Derek would say, "I kept waiting for her to look embarrassed to be seen with me." She never did. Stories like Derek's don't go viral because they're shocking. They go viral because they're real. If this story is hitting you differently, if you see yourself or someone you love in Derek's struggle, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button. For the person scrolling who needs to know they're not alone, share this video with someone who's fighting a battle nobody sees. Because sometimes all it takes is one person stopping to sit on the curb. May through December 2019, Derek and Tasha were inseparable. Derek continued losing weight, not because Tasha pressured him, but because he'd found a rhythm. By the end of 2019, he was down 187 pounds total, 185 pounds, healthier, stronger, able to do things he couldn't do a year before. Thanksgiving 2019. Tasha met Derek's family. His mother hosted. Whole family there. Tasha brought sweet potato pie, answered questions patiently. Derek's mother pulled her aside while everyone was cleaning up. You gave me my son back. Tasha shook her head. I didn't do that. He did that himself. Maybe, but you showed up. You stayed. That matters. Tasha nodded. He's easy to stay for. Derek's mother smiled. You love him. Tasha didn't hesitate. Yes, ma'am, I do. That night driving home, Derek reached over, took her hand. I love you. Tasha glanced at him, smiled. I love you too. Through 2020, when the world shut down, they adapted. Worked out in parking lots, in parks, in her living room. Spring 2021. Derek started his own engineering consulting business. Small operation, just him and 2 contractors. But it was his. He also started volunteering at a community mental health center, speaking to groups about trauma and recovery. People connected with him, trusted him. Fall 2021. Tasha opened her own training facility, Fresh Start Fitness in Beaverton. Derek helped her design the space, made sure it felt welcoming. January 2022. Derek and Tasha moved in together, found a house in Beaverton, 2 bedrooms, small yard. Nothing fancy, but it was theirs. March 13th, 2023. Forest Park, sunset. Derek told Tasha he wanted to take a walk. He drove them to the park. They started on the trail. They walked to a specific spot, a curve in the trail, trees on one side, view of the city on the other. Derek stopped. Remember this place? Tasha looked around. I don't think so. This is where I had to stop. That first night, September 8th, 2018. I was bent over right here. Couldn't catch my breath. Tasha stared at the spot, realized he was right. Before she could respond, Derek got down on one knee. Her heart stopped. Hands flew to her mouth. You're the strongest person I know. You fought for me when most people gave up on me. You helped me rebuild myself. You helped me believe in second chances again. He opened a small box. Simple ring. Will you marry me? Tasha couldn't speak, tears streaming down her face. She nodded. Yes. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Derek stood up, slid the ring on her finger, kissed her while the sun set behind them, the same trail where he almost gave up. Now the place where she said yes to forever. They set the date, July 1st, 2023. Small ceremony, 60 guests, family, close friends. Derek worked with a tailor on his suit. Tasha planned the honeymoon. Everything felt perfect, like all the pain had led to this moment. Derek counted down the days, 100, 90, 80, 75. Everything was planned. The venue, the flowers, the food, the photographer. Derek had never been happier. June 2023, Sweet Petal Bakery. Derek and Tasha sat at a small table near the window. Cake samples spread out. Vanilla, chocolate, red velvet, lemon, laughing, taking photos, trying to decide which flavor for the wedding. Derek wore jeans and a fitted shirt. He looked happy, relaxed. Tasha fed him a bite of chocolate cake. Too sweet, she shook her head. It's perfect. The door chimed, someone walking in. Derek glanced up, casual. Then he froze. A woman walked in, tall, well-dressed, business casual. She walked past their table toward the counter. Then she stopped, turned back, stared. Derek. That voice. Derek knew that voice. Hadn't heard it in 5 years. But he knew it. Rachel, his ex-wife, standing 5 feet away, staring at him like she'd seen a ghost. Rachel was 41 now, looked the same, maybe older, still wore expensive clothes, still carried herself like someone important. She hadn't seen Derek in 5 years, not since the divorce. She walked past his table, did a double take, stopped, stared, mouth slightly open. Is that really you? Derek's hand started shaking. He put down his fork. Tasha stood up immediately, voice calm but firm. Can we help you? Rachel barely looked at Tasha, kept her eyes on Derek. Wow, you look... She couldn't finish the sentence. Derek found his voice, steady, cold. What are you doing here? Rachel blinked, like she'd forgotten she was in a bakery. I'm picking up a cake. I'm getting married next month. But what happened to you? The question landed like an insult. What happened to you? Like his transformation required explanation. Derek's jaw tightened. I got my life back. Tasha extended her hand. I'm Tasha, Derek's fiancée. Rachel's face changed. Something dark flickered in her eyes. Confusion, then anger, then something else. Something cold. She shook Tasha's hand, gripped it too hard, held on too long. Congratulations, both of you. Her voice was flat, empty. She turned back to Derek, started talking, words spilling out, mentioned her fiancé Scott, wedding April 18th, still worked for the same real estate firm, but she kept circling back, kept staring at Derek. D, you look incredible. I mean, completely different. Tasha put her hand on Derek's shoulder. We should get going, babe. Rachel nodded quickly. Yeah, of course. Good seeing you. But she didn't move, just stood there. Watched them gather their things. Watched them walk toward the door. Her eyes never left him. Tasha unlocked the car. Derek got in, hands still shaking. She got in the driver's seat, sat there before starting the engine. You okay? Derek stared straight ahead. That was my ex-wife. Tasha nodded. I figured. The way she looked at you. What do you mean? Like she made a mistake, and she knows it. That night, Rachel sat on her couch, phone in her hand. Couldn't stop thinking about Derek, the way he looked, thin, confident, happy, engaged to another woman. She opened her laptop, typed his name into Google, Derek Chambers Portland, found his business page, Chambers Engineering Consulting, his LinkedIn, Instagram. She clicked on Instagram, scrolled through his photos, Derek at the gym, at work events, Derek and Tasha hiking, at restaurants, traveling, smiling in every photo. Each photo felt like a punch. Rachel stared at a photo of Derek and Tasha at Christmas, both wearing matching ugly sweaters, laughing. That's my husband. She said it out loud to her empty apartment. Then she caught herself. He's not your husband anymore. But the thought persisted, twisted, grew into something else. I helped create that. I pushed him to get healthy. The delusion was starting. The rewriting of history. Rachel convincing herself that Derek's transformation was somehow because of her. Because she'd left him. Because she'd pushed him to change. She kept scrolling, kept staring, kept building a story in her head that wasn't true. Scott walked into the living room. Rachel's fiancé. You've been on your phone for an hour. What's wrong? Rachel looked up, closed her laptop quickly. Nothing. Work stuff. Your wedding's in 3 weeks. Can work wait? Rachel snapped. I said it's nothing. Scott pulled back, surprised. She never snapped at him. What's going on? Rachel stood up. I'm tired. Going to bed. She walked to the bedroom, left Scott sitting there, confused, worried. March 26th through April 3rd. Rachel checked Derek's social media obsessively, multiple times a day, during work, during meals, late at night when Scott was asleep. She looked up Tasha Bennett, found her business page, Fresh Start Fitness, read reviews, looked at photos, saw comments from clients, including Derek. Derek had commented on a post from February, best trainer and best person, with a heart emoji. Rachel stared at those words, best person. What about her? What about their marriage? Didn't that count for something? 2:18 a.m. Scott asleep in the bedroom, Rachel sitting in the dark, scrolling through Derek's Instagram again. She opened her messages, found Derek's number, still saved after all these years, never deleted it. She started typing. Hey, it's Rachel. Been thinking about seeing you. Would love to catch up sometime. Her thumb hovered over send. She knew she shouldn't, knew it was crossing a line, knew Scott would be devastated if he found out. But she hit send anyway, watched the message deliver, watched it say read a few minutes later. Then she waited. April 8th morning. Derek woke up, checked his phone, saw a text from Rachel. He showed Tasha. She was making coffee in the kitchen. Read the message. Looked at him. You don't have to respond. Derek sat down at the table. I know, but maybe if I talk to her, give her closure, She'll leave us alone. Tasha didn't like it. He could see it in her face, but she trusted him. You want me to come with you? No, but I'll tell you where I am the whole time. Derek typed back. Hi, Rachel. I'm willing to meet for coffee once. Tasha will know where I am. Firm boundary. Clear message. This wasn't a reunion. This was closure. Rachel responded immediately. Thank you. When works for you? They agreed on April 11th. Stumptown Coffee in Hawthorne. 11 a.m. Public place. Daytime. Safe. April 11th. 11 a.m. Derek walked into Stumptown Coffee. Rachel was already there, sitting at a corner table, wearing expensive perfume, dressed up, like this was a date. Derek's jaw tightened. This wasn't a date. This was a conversation. One conversation. Then done. He sat across from her. Didn't smile. Didn't hug her. Just sat. Rachel smiled. Nervous. Thanks for meeting me. Derek's voice was flat. What did you want to talk about? Rachel shifted in her seat. I've been thinking a lot since I saw you. About us. About what happened. That was 5 years ago. I know, but seeing you again. It brought everything back. Derek said nothing. Waited. I was wrong. The way I treated you. The things I said. Still, Derek said nothing. Seeing you now. You're everything I knew you could be. Derek's voice was ice cold. I'm everything he knew I could be. He meant Tasha. Rachel flinched, knew exactly what he meant. Do you ever think about us? What we had? Derek leaned forward. We didn't have anything, Rachel. You had a husband who was grieving, and you had contempt. That's not a marriage. That's not fair. You know what wasn't fair? You walking out because I gained weight after losing 2 babies. Your babies. Rachel went quiet, looked down. You left me at my lowest. You looked at me like I disgusted you. In front of my family, you made me feel like I didn't deserve to exist. Silence, long and heavy. Rachel looked up. Met his eyes. I still love you. Derek stared at her. Disbelief. Anger. No, you don't. You love the version of me standing in front of you. But you didn't build him. You didn't hold his hand through panic attacks. You didn't wake up at 5 a.m. to make sure he got to the gym. Tasha did that. You threw me away. She picked me up. Rachel's desperation showing. I made a mistake. You're getting married in 1 week. I don't love him. Not like I loved you. Derek stood up. We're done here. Rachel reached out, grabbed his wrist. Wait. Derek pulled away. Hard. Don't ever contact me again. He walked out. Didn't look back. Left Rachel sitting there alone. Rachel sat at that table for 15 minutes, staring at nothing. Something had broken in her. Something that couldn't be fixed. She'd lost him. Really lost him. Not just the divorce, but him. The idea of him. The possibility of him. And the woman who had him. Tasha. The woman who'd done what Rachel never did. Showed up. Stayed. Loved him without conditions. Rachel hated her. Hated her with everything she had. Because Tasha had won. And Rachel had lost. And she couldn't accept that. Rachel canceled her wedding to Scott. Told him she wasn't ready. I can't marry you. Scott was devastated. Is there someone else? No, I'm just not ready. Scott packed his things, moved out. Rachel felt nothing. No guilt, no regret. Just relief that he was gone. That she could focus. May 10th. Rachel downloaded Tor browser. The one that hides your identity. Keeps you anonymous. She searched forums she shouldn't be on. Places where people offered services that weren't legal. She found what she was looking for. Contact information, usernames, encrypted email addresses, people who did jobs no one else would do. Rachel opened an encrypted email account. Not her real name, not her real information, just a fake identity. She used the name KM. Subject line, business inquiry, message, need to discuss a problem, paying well, discreet work. She sent it to a username she'd found, Viper503, then she waited. 18 hours later, response came through. What kind of problem? Rachel stared at those 4 words. Last chance to back out. Last chance to stop. She didn't stop. The conversation took place over 3 days. Rachel was vague at first. Testing. I have a situation. Someone's causing problems in my life. What kind of problems? Personal problems. They're in the way. Viper 503 went quiet for a day, then responded. I don't do that. Rachel offered money. $30,000. Another day of silence. Then, $50,000, half up front, and I need details. Rachel agreed immediately. Rachel went to her bank, withdrew $50,000 from a savings account. Money from a property sale. Money Scott didn't know about. Money no one knew about. She took the cash to a cryptocurrency exchange, converted it to Bitcoin. Untraceable, anonymous. She sent $25,000 to a digital wallet address Viper 503 provided. The money disappeared. No way to get it back now. May 18th, via encrypted chat, Rachel sent a photo of Tasha. Screenshot from Instagram. She provided the gym address. Fresh Start Fitness, Beaverton. Tasha's car, make, model, license plate, daily schedule. Make it look like a robbery. She works late on Wednesdays, usually leaves around 8:30 p.m. Parking lot is empty by then. When? Rachel thought about it. Soon, before July 1st. That's specific. That's their wedding day. Needs to be before then. Viper the 503 didn't respond for an hour. Then, understood. Viper 503 sent photos, surveillance photos. Tasha leaving the gym, getting into her car, driving away. I've got eyes on her. When you want this done? Give me time to set up an alibi. 2 weeks. Then it's happening, Rachel agreed. The woman Rachel hired had a name, Denise Grant, 39 years old, ex-military, dishonorably discharged, prior arrests, armed robbery, assault, served 7 years, turned to contract work after that. 4 suspected hits, never caught, never charged. She was good at what she did, and Rachel had just hired her to kill Tasha Bennett. June 5th, Rachel booked a weekend trip to Seattle. June 16th through 18th, her and Scott, expensive hotel. Kimpton Hotel, Vintage, Seattle. Restaurant reservations at Canlis. She kept every receipt, every confirmation email, creating a paper trail, proof she wasn't in Portland. June 14th, Rachel sent the message to Viper 503. Final confirmation. Confirmed. Target and location. She'll be there until 8:30 p.m. Always is on Saturdays. Viper 503 responded. Understood. That was it. No more messages, no more planning. It was happening. June 16th, Rachel and Scott drove to Seattle. Scott was excited, talking about reconciliation. Rachel barely heard him, just nodded, smiled when she was supposed to. They checked into the hotel. Scott took photos, posted them on social media. Rachel made sure they were time-stamped, location tagged, dinner at Canlis. Rachel ordered wine, took selfies with Scott, kept every receipt, signed with a flourish, left generous tips, building her alibi, step by step, moment by moment. Meanwhile, Derek and Tasha were at home, finishing wedding invitations, laughing about seating arrangements. Tasha had a full day of training sessions scheduled for June 17th. Last client at 7:30 p.m. That client texted around 6 p.m. Can we add extra time? Tasha agreed. Sure. We'll go until 9 p.m. She texted Derek. Going to be here until 9. Want me to pick up dinner after? Derek was at home, about to start cooking. He looked at the text. Thought about it. I'll come to you. We can grab food together. That text, that simple decision, saved his life and destroyed Rachel's plan. June 17th, 9:05 p.m. Last client left. Tasha cleaned up, turned off lights, locked the front door. Her phone buzzed. Derek. Leaving now. Be there in 20. She smiled, texted back a heart emoji, grabbed her gym bag, headed to her car in the back parking lot. Tasha loaded her gym bag into the trunk, keys in her hand, thinking about dinner, maybe Thai food. Derek loved Thai. She didn't notice the van parked at the far end of the lot, headlights off, engine running. Derek pulled into the parking lot, saw Tasha at her car, pulled up next to her, rolled down his window. "Hey, beautiful." Tasha smiled, leaned down to his window. Perfect timing. They were talking, making plans, deciding where to eat. Neither of them saw the woman get out of the van. Denise Grant sat in the van, watching, waiting for Tasha to be alone. Then a second car pulled up. A man, parked next to the target, started talking to her. This wasn't the plan. Wasn't supposed to be anyone else there. Denise pulled out her phone, texted Rachel. "Complication, male on scene." No response. Rachel's phone was off. In Seattle. Creating her alibi. Denise had to decide. Abort or proceed. She decided to proceed. Black ski mask, gun in hand. Denise walked toward both cars. Fast, confident. Derek and Tasha were still talking through the windows. Laughing. Didn't see her until she was 10 feet away. "Hands where I can see them." Both of them froze. Derek's hands shot up. Tasha screamed. Denise pointed the gun at Derek. "Wallets, phones. Now." Derek reached slowly for his wallet, hands shaking. "Easy, we'll give you everything." Tasha was crying, screaming. "Please, we'll give you everything." Denise kept the gun pointed at Derek's head. "Out of the car, now." Derek opened the door slowly, hands still raised, stepped out. "Don't hurt her, please." Denise stepped closer, gun aimed at Derek's chest. Tasha saw it, saw her finger tighten on the trigger. "No!" Denise fired. First shot hit Derek in the chest. He stumbled back, hit the car, fell. Tasha jumped out of her car, running toward him, screaming his name. Denise fired again. Second shot hit Derek's chest. He stopped moving. Third shot, aimed at Tasha. Missed. Hit the car window behind her. Glass shattered. Tasha dropped to the ground. Covered Derek's body with hers. Screaming. Blood everywhere. His blood soaking through her shirt. She couldn't feel his heartbeat. Couldn't feel him breathing. Denise pointed the gun at her. Tasha looked up. Met her eyes through the mask. She fired. Shot hit Tasha's left shoulder. Burned through muscle. Through bone. She collapsed on top of Derek. Denise ran back to the van. Tires screeched. She was gone in 30 seconds. The parking lot went silent, except for Tasha, still screaming, draped over Derek's body, trying to stop the bleeding, trying to wake him up. "Derek, please. Derek, wake up. Please wake up." He didn't move. A neighbor across the street heard the shots. Called 911. Police arrived. 4 cars, sirens, lights. Ambulance 2 minutes behind. They found Tasha on the ground, covered in blood, still holding Derek. Officers pulled her away, gently. Let the paramedics work. Paramedics worked on both victims. Derek, no pulse. 3 gunshot wounds to the chest. They tried CPR, tried to stabilize him. Nothing worked. Tasha, bullet through the shoulder, lost a lot of blood. Conscious, screaming, fighting the paramedics, trying to get back to Derek. They loaded her into the ambulance. She lost consciousness before they reached the hospital. Derek Chambers, age 33, pronounced dead at 9:47 p.m. Tasha woke up, groggy, confused, arm in a sling, bandages, hospital room. Her father was there, sitting in a chair, hadn't slept all night. "Dad, where's Derek?" Her father's face. That's all Tasha needed to see. She knew before anyone said the words. "No, no, no, no. Dad, no." "Baby, I'm so sorry," Tasha screamed, a sound that didn't seem human. Raw, broken. They sedated her, put her back under. Rachel checked her phone after dinner in Seattle, saw a news alert. Shooting in Portland, 1 dead. She opened the article, read the location, near a gym in Beaverton. She felt nothing. No shock, no horror, nothing. Scott noticed. "What's wrong?" "Nothing. Just a work email." She put the phone away, finished her wine, smiled at Scott, pretended everything was normal. Rachel and Scott drove back to Portland the next morning. Rachel checked the news constantly, confirmed. Derek Chambers, 33, killed. 1 other victim, female, survived. recovering at OHSU hospital. Rachel's hands shook on the steering wheel. Tasha survived. She wasn't supposed to be there. Tasha can identify the shooter. What if she saw something? What if she knows? Rachel couldn't breathe. August 3rd, detectives Mitchell and Williams came to see Tasha. Needed her statement. Tasha recounted the attack. Woman in a mask, gun, demanded wallets, but didn't wait. She shot Derek 3 times. He was reaching for his wallet, and she just shot him. It wasn't about the money. Detective Mitchell leaned forward. Can you think of anyone who'd want to hurt Derek? Tasha thought about it. Then she remembered. His ex-wife. Tasha told them about Rachel, the divorce, the bakery encounter. How Rachel stared at Derek, the text message, the coffee shop conversation. She told him she still loved him, that she didn't love her fiancé, that seeing him again brought everything back. When was this? April 11th, 2 months before he was killed. The detectives looked at each other. Something was clicking. August 10th, detectives requested Rachel's financial records. Judge approved the warrant. May 18th, $50,000 withdrawn from savings. Detective Mitchell saw it. $50,000, 1 month before the murder. Computer forensics recovered Rachel's browser history. Searches from May 10th. Dark web access. Tor browser installation. Encrypted app downloaded May 10th. App deleted June 18th. Day after the murder. Metadata recovered. Timestamps. Communication patterns. Everything Rachel tried to erase. Meanwhile, Denise Grant arrested, routine traffic stop, illegal firearm in the vehicle, taken to Multnomah County Jail. Detectives interviewed Denise. She fit the profile. Prior violence, military training, dishonorably discharged. Detective Williams showed Denise a photo. Rachel Morrison. You know this woman? Denise's face changed. Just for a split second. Recognition. Never seen her. Mitchell leaned in. We have your van on camera. June 17th. You know what happened that night? Denise sat back. I want a lawyer. Detectives offered a deal. Testimony against Rachel Morrison in exchange for reduced sentence. 25 years. Testimony against Rachel Morrison. Full details. Denise agreed. She told them everything. Hired through dark web forum. Woman using the name KM. Rachel Morrison. $50,000 total. Half up front. Cryptocurrency. Target. Tasha Bennett. Physical therapist. Gym owner. Beaverton. Instructions. Make it look like a robbery. Wasn't supposed to shoot the man. He wasn't supposed to be there. Denise gave them everything. Dates, times, messages, the entire plot. September 3rd, 6 a.m. Pounding on Rachel's door. She opened it. Detectives, uniformed officers, FBI agents. Rachel Morrison, you're under arrest for solicitation of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and the murder of Derek Chambers. They turned her around, handcuffed her, read her rights, news cameras waiting outside. Rachel walked out in handcuffs, t-shirt and sweatpants, head down, neighbors watching from windows. Rachel before the judge. Charges read aloud. Murder for hire, first-degree murder, attempted murder of Tasha Bennett, bail denied, flight risk. Danger to the community. Tasha was there, sitting with Derek's family, her father. She watched Rachel being let in, wearing orange. Rachel looked at her once, just once. Tasha stared back. No tears, no emotion, just cold recognition. This was the woman Derek married, the woman who vowed to love him, the woman who hired someone to kill the person he loved most. January 2024, 7 months after Derek's death. The trial began, Multnomah County Courthouse. News vans lined the street, protesters outside. The courtroom was packed, standing room only. Rachel was let in, orange jumpsuit, shackles on her ankles, hair pulled back, no makeup. Face older than her 41 years. Her lawyer beside her, public defender, overworked. Charges read aloud. Solicitation of murder. Conspiracy to commit murder. First-degree murder of Derek Chambers. Attempted murder of Tasha Bennett. Rachel pleaded not guilty. Prosecution went first. This case is about obsession. About a woman who couldn't accept that her ex-husband had moved on. who couldn't stand watching him be happy with someone else. So she did something unthinkable. She hired someone to kill his fiancée, and when that plan went wrong, an innocent man died. Week 1. Prosecution called witnesses. Detective Mitchell testified, explained the investigation, the evidence, the timeline. Financial records presented. $50,000 withdrawal May 18th. Computer forensics expert testified. Browser history recovered. Searches for dark web forms. Tor browser installation. Encrypted messaging apps. Week 2. Denise Grant testified. The courtroom went silent as she entered. Shackled. Orange jumpsuit. She was sworn in. I was contacted through an encrypted forum. Username KM. She offered $50,000 to kill a woman named Tasha Bennett. How was payment made? Cryptocurrency. $25,000 upfront. Bitcoin. Prosecutor showed transaction records. Digital wallet address. Transfer date. Amount matched exactly. Can you identify the person who hired you? Denise pointed at Rachel. That's her. Rachel Morrison. Week 3, Tasha testified. She walked to the stand. Everyone watched. The woman who survived. The woman who lost everything. She was sworn in. Sat down. Prosecutor asked her to describe the night of the shooting. Tasha's voice was steady, but strained. Derek came to meet me at the gym. We were deciding where to go for dinner. A woman approached us, wearing a ski mask, gun in her hand. She demanded our wallets. Derek was reaching for his, and she shot him 3 times before he could even hand it to her. Her voice broke. I ran to him, and she shot me in the shoulder. Tell us about the encounter at the bakery. She walked in, saw Derek, stopped, stared at him. She couldn't believe how he looked. He'd lost all the weight. He was healthy, happy, and she looked angry. Did Derek meet with Rachel after that? Yes, April 11th. She texted him asking to catch up. He agreed to meet her for coffee. One time, to give her closure. What did Derek tell you about that meeting? He said Rachel told him she still loved him, that she didn't love her fiancé, that she made a mistake leaving him. Derek told her he'd moved on, that we were getting married, that she threw him away and I picked him up. And 2 months later, Derek was killed. Tasha's face, tears streaming. 2 months later, 7 weeks before our wedding. Week 4, closing arguments. Prosecution stood. Rachel Morrison hired Denise Grant to kill Tasha Bennett. The evidence is clear. $50,000 withdrawn. Cryptocurrency transfer. Dark web searches. Encrypted communications. Derek Chambers wasn't supposed to die, but he did, because Rachel Morrison couldn't accept that he'd moved on. She is guilty, and justice demands you hold her accountable. Defense closing argument. The state has shown you circumstantial evidence, but circumstantial evidence is not proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Rachel Morrison was in Seattle when Derek Chambers died. She has an alibi. The state cannot prove she hired Denise Grant. They have a theory, but not proof. The jury deliberated. 2 days of waiting. January 28th, 2024. The jury returned. Everyone stood as the jury entered. Judge asked for the verdict. Jury foreman stood. On the charge of solicitation of murder, we find the defendant guilty. Tasha's hand covered her mouth. On the charge of conspiracy to commit murder, we find the defendant guilty. Derek's mother crying. On the charge of first-degree murder of Derek Chambers, we find the defendant guilty. Rachel showed no emotion, just sat there, staring straight ahead. On the charge of attempted murder of Tasha Bennett, we find the defendant guilty. The courtroom erupted. Guilty on all counts. February 12th, 2024. Sentencing. Rachel brought back to the courtroom. Judge read the sentence. Rachel Morrison, you have been found guilty of solicitation of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, first-degree murder, and attempted murder. You orchestrated the death of an innocent man because you couldn't accept his happiness. You robbed his family of a son, a brother, a friend. You robbed Tasha Bennett of her future. Judge's face firm. This court sentences you to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Rachel was led away. She would die in prison. February 2024. Tasha still lived in the house she'd shared with Derek. Quiet, empty, too big for one person. She'd returned to work, not at the gym. Couldn't go back there. She took a job at a community mental health center, counseling trauma survivors. She understood them in a way most counselors couldn't. Could look them in the eye and say, I know what rock bottom feels like. I know what it's like to lose everything, and I'm here to tell you that you can survive this. Her clients connected with her, trusted her. March 2024. Tasha started speaking at support groups, sharing her story, talking about Derek, about the shooting, about the trial, about how grief doesn't have an expiration date. People listened, some cried, some thanked her afterward. April 2024, Tasha started a foundation in Derek's name. The Derek Chambers Second Chance Foundation helped trauma survivors, provided free counseling, free fitness training, everything Derek had given her, she was giving to others. Fresh Start Fitness was renamed Derek Chambers Fitness Center. New owner kept it open in his memory. Tasha visited sometimes, stood in the parking lot where he died, touched the wall where they'd hung his photo. In memory of Derek Chambers, 1990-2023, he helped people believe in second chances. She wore her engagement ring on a necklace, kept Derek close, always. May 2024. Tasha spoke at a domestic violence prevention event. She stood on stage, addressed the crowd. The person who vows to love you should never be the one who destroys you. Love doesn't look like control. It doesn't look like contempt. It doesn't look like abandonment. Derek survived his first marriage. He rebuilt himself. He found happiness. And someone decided he didn't deserve that happiness. So they took it from him. But they couldn't take his impact. They couldn't erase the lives he touched, the people he helped, the hope he gave. That lives on in every person who gets a second chance, in every person who refuses to give up. The audience stood, applauded. June 17th, 2024, 1-year anniversary of Derek's death. Memorial service at Derek Chambers Fitness Center. Over 200 people attended. Clients whose lives Derek had changed. Friends, family, people who'd never met him but knew his story. Tasha spoke, read a letter she'd written to Derek. A year ago, you were taken from me, from all of us, and there isn't a day that goes by where I don't think about what we lost. But I also think about what you gave me. You showed me what real love looks like. Not control, not conditions, just showing up, staying, believing in someone when they can't believe in themselves. You saved my life, Dee, not just physically. You gave me purpose, hope, a reason to keep fighting. I promise you, I'm still fighting. For you, for me, for everyone who needs someone to stop on a sidewalk and sit with them. The crowd was silent, many crying. July 1st, 2024. The day that should have been Derek and Tasha's wedding, Tasha went to Forest Park, the spot where Derek proposed. The curve in the trail, trees on one side, view of the city on the other. She sat on a bench, talked to him like he could hear her. We should be married today, starting our life together, planning our future. Instead, I'm here alone, and you're gone. She wiped her tears. But I'm not giving up. I know that's what you'd want. For me to keep going, keep helping people, keep living. She stood, looked at the view. I love you, Dee, always will. She walked back down the trail, the same trail where Derek almost gave up, the same trail where he proposed, now a place she visited to remember. Present day. Tasha works at the Community Mental Health Center, trains clients part-time, runs the foundation, speaks at events. Her life is full of purpose, full of meaning. She still misses Derek every day, still cries sometimes, still has moments where the grief feels unbearable. But she keeps going, because that's what Derek would want, because his death doesn't get to be the end of her story. Rachel Morrison is in prison, Coffee Creek Correctional Facility, Wilsonville, Oregon, maximum security, small cell, 23 hours a day in isolation, no visitors. Scott moved on, her colleagues stopped calling. Her family distanced themselves. She is alone, will be for the rest of her life. She took Derek's life. She took Tasha's future. She took his family's son, brother, friend. but she couldn't take his impact. Couldn't erase the lives he touched. Couldn't destroy the hope he gave. That was never hers to take. September 2024. Tasha started training clients again. Small group classes. One woman reminded her of Derek. Overweight, depressed, felt invisible. After a session, Tasha sat with her. I know it feels impossible right now, but I promise you it's not. One step at a time, one day at a time. The woman cried, thanked her. No one's ever believed in me like this. Tasha smiled, saw Derek in this moment. This was his legacy. This was what he'd taught her. Show up, stay, believe in people when they can't believe in themselves. Somewhere right now, someone you know is losing hope. They're carrying pain they haven't told anyone about, fighting battles no one sees. They're one moment away from giving up, one kind word away from holding on. And you have a choice. You can scroll past this video and forget their face, forget their name. Tell yourself someone else will check in. Or you can be the person who stops, who sits on the curb, who says, I see you. You matter. I'm not leaving. Derek didn't get a second chance, but the people around you still do. Don't let this be the story you watch and do nothing about. Reach out, show up, stay. Because one day it might be too late, and you'll wish you had. If Derek's story teaches us anything, it's this. Transformation is possible, love is powerful, and cruelty can destroy both in an instant. So here's the question that matters most. When you have the chance to be someone's Rachel, or someone's Tasha, someone who tears down or someone who builds up, which one will you choose? And will you choose it before it's too late? Derek Chambers, 1990, 2023. He believed in second chances. He found love when he stopped looking for it. He rebuilt himself when everyone said he couldn't. Thank you for watching to the end and see you in our next episode of Compass True Crime Stories. Stay safe.